Iguanas. Did you guys know that iguanas are invasive and they love to eat the beautiful, lush, tropical landscape plants that everyone is installing in these gorgeous landscapes, at least down here in South Florida? Let me tell you a little bit about our special guests today. We have Michael and Michelle with Humane Iguana Control. They're South Florida natives that got into iguana control in a very interesting way. So you were into landscaping and all of that before you jumped into the iguanas?
Yeah,
We had a business for 11 years.
Wow. So you guys have a lot of knowledge and background in what is landscaping.
Yeah.
Michael had a landscape company for 11 years, so he has a background when it comes to plants. So one day he's in Star Island doing a landscape job, changing out some impatiens, which are annual plants that iguanas love to eat.
So we have a property in Star Island that we used to do, and they wanted to install flowers. And within a week, they're all eaten up, they were gone.
How much was the total amount of plants that they had eaten?
In the thousands.
It was thousands of dollars that were lost due to the iguanas eating them. So imagine that, guys. You're a homeowner listening, or you're a landscaper, and and you have $3, $4, $5, $10,000 worth of plants that the landscapers listening here in South Florida, they know exactly what I'm talking about. It all gets eaten. Like, that's not even warranted at that point. So the landlord or the homeowner, they lose that money.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So I told the property manager, hey, listen, they're eating these plants because they're not putting any baits in the traps.
Michael noticed quickly that there was no food in them, and without food, you ain't gonna get nothing in the cage.
Like,
so they had traps there because they knew that there was iguanas.
Exactly.
No, they had a trapper, a business that.
They had a company that,
Yeah.
so they had a company there to place traps because they knew that there was iguanas already
Exactly.
there.
Yeah.
So when we checked the traps, they were empty.
So the landlord asked him, hey, could you take care of the problem for me? And boom, that's when the light bulb turned on and he saw the opportunity. Wow.
So if they don't have any food inside the traps, they're gonna eat the flowers. And I go, hey, I'm about to start doing this myself.
Yeah, to take care of the problem.
Exactly. He goes, give me a price. I was like, light bulb, let's do this.
Talk about finding opportunities within the green industry, even when you don't expect it. Look what just fell on his lap. An opportunity to now create a new stream and a different adventure for what his future holds. Within 1 month, he gained the knowledge to give him enough confidence by watching YouTube videos, Googling, reading articles to now open Humane Iguana Control.
So I went home, studied for about a week, did all my research, looked up all the local laws, watched the videos, to make sure I'm doing everything humanely and correct. So I gave him a price and it started ever since. Within a month, it was going good. Like, you know what, let's go full throttle.
In a month, you took it serious, started a business and everything.
Yeah.
So you guys didn't take too long to do it. It couldn't have come at a better time because COVID had hit and his landscape business was struggling. Okay.
Doing the landscaping, and I was doing the iguanas on the side while maintaining the landscape business.
Okay.
Me and my wife were just hustling, getting the new accounts for the iguanas, talking to clients, networking.
Okay.
But it came to the point that when COVID came, it affected our landscape business negatively.
Okay.
We couldn't find employees.
Okay.
A lot of business closed down.
Wow.
So it was going downhill.
Wow.
So I had to come to a point to make a decision whether I keep going with the landscape business or I sell it.
As he was growing the iguana business, he realized that the landscape business needed to go. So he was able to sell the complete entire landscape company, not just assets as trucks and equipment. He sold the whole thing.
So I ended up selling the landscape business.
That's good.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
to make a nice profit before I lose everything.
By not having the landscape company anymore that he was having to juggle between two, now he could put all his focus and the money that he had earned from selling the landscape company into the iguana company, putting 100% effort in. So let's continue talking with Michael and Michelle to talk about the importance of iguana control.
Are you ready to grow? The Plant Movement with Willie Rodriguez of A's Ornamental Nursery in sunny South Florida is the podcast for those in the nursery business. Garden centers, landscapers, power growers, and plant enthusiasts. Willie is a passionate leader in the plant movement and has helped others grow their business into multi-million-dollar companies. This show will save you time, money, and headaches through top-notch education and by connecting you to experts in the industry. Let's grow. Here's your host, Willie Rodriguez.
Tell me some of the things that iguanas do other than just hanging out, because they hang out most of the day in the shade.
Yeah. Well, that's the reason, we wanted to come with you guys and help educate South Florida about the iguanas. They are causing a huge negative impact to our ecosystem, to our native species. One of the things iguanas do, they like to dig burrows. So by them digging burrows, it could cause structural damage. I know there's a story in Fort Lauderdale, I think it was, that they were digging burrows under like a dam. and they cost the city $1.8 million in damage.
Wow, to
And
fix it.
and that's from digging burrows, you know. So what happens when they dig the burrows with time, you know, with the rain and the conditions,
They
it gets erosion, you know. So imagine $1.8 million in damage, you know, from lizards.
No, from lizards
Reptiles.
and the lizards too. They're also messing up, you know, the ecosystem of the wildlife.
Exactly.
You know, from turtles is what I read, and also owls and other animals like that as well.
Yeah, there's an owl called the burrowing owl, and this owl, what he does is he digs tunnels as well, burrows, to lay his eggs. You know, and sometimes
that's a native bird.
And that's a native bird. That's close to extinction, actually.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's, you know, very important that we take care of this issue to avoid, you know, our native species getting extinct because of the iguana that's not native to here. Sometimes they go in there, they might mess up the eggs they have. You know, there's even stories I've heard. Don't quote me on this, that they've eaten their eggs before. You know, even though iguanas are vegetarian.
Yeah, they're herbivores.
They're herbivores. You know, there are known some stories that they have, you know, eaten bird eggs.
Oh, I'm sure.
But it's not common, but it has happened. You know, turtles, owls, you know, bird species as well. And,
they go in there, they sit on them, they break them, they hit them with their tail.
Yeah, yeah.
That's their basically their defense mechanism is their tail.
Their tail, yeah, that's their
They
main.
can whip you really nice.
Yeah, real nice. I've gotten whipped a couple times, and
Well, I'm sure you're in that world, so you know, out of 1,000 catches, you're gonna get whipped probably at least 100.
yeah, it hurts more than my wife whipped me, you know. So.
Yeah. Michael, Michael.
Whip it real good.
Oh yeah, whip them hard, but we leave here, okay? Do one for me, I'll get it for you.
Yeah. So there's actually another species that the iguanas are affecting. It's called the Miami blue butterfly. The Miami blue butterfly lays their eggs on a plant called knickerbean. I think it's called knickerbean.
Okay.
And what happens is the iguanas eat those plants. So what happens is that the butterfly can't lay the eggs on those plants anymore because there's nothing to lay it on.
Oh, what is it? The milkweed? No,
No, I think it's called knickerbean.
Knickerbean plant.
I think it's called knickerbean plant, if I'm correct. So in Bahia Honda, down in the Keys, they're well known in that area, you know, and they started seeing less and less of these butterflies. So they did research. They found out that the ones are eating all those plants, so they have nowhere to lay their eggs. And the Miami blue butterfly is a native species, which is a beautiful butterfly.
Do you know how they got here?
The iguanas were first noticed in South Florida in the 1960s. Pet trade market had a lot to do with it.
Okay,
You know,
same thing with the pythons.
Same thing with the pythons. You know, they brought them as pets. You know, they got too big. Residents let them go because they didn't know how to handle it or how to take care of it, or they couldn't take care of them. So just releasing, you know, eventually they become an infestation. You know, they start mating, and the iguanas lay 20 to 70 eggs a year.
Wow.
You know, so that's
And
just
there's thousands of them.
yeah. So imagine one female laying 20 to 70 eggs a year. Multiply that by how many females are in South Florida. It's
Yeah.
It's
impossible to
never
count.
ending. Yeah, and it's not something, let's say, that people want to do, go and catch iguanas and control them. But it's
Exactly.
something that has created a problem that if they don't stop it, and there's not more of you guys or guys that do what you do,
Exactly.
then it becomes a really massive, huge problem
Yeah.
for South Florida.
Yeah, I mean, since we started, we've removed over 3,000 iguanas.
Wow.
You know, at least. We lost count, honestly, but over 3,000 iguanas we've removed.
You got to look at your invoices.
Yeah, right?
QuickBooks.com.
Yeah, right. You know, so we removed over 3,000 iguanas, and when I keep going, we want to educate everybody to just so they know the negative impact that they're causing to South Florida, to our agriculture, to our ecosystem, to our native species.
That's crazy. No, I'm glad you guys got into that. And tell me how you got into other pests like raccoons and snakes. It just happened.
Yeah, it just happened. You know, we added it as an extra service. You know, because it all fits one and one together. So you know, we've had issues with raccoons inside attics. You know, that they found some kind of hole on the roof or on their side of the roofs.
Crawl in.
They crawl in. They had the babies in there, and then the clients at night they hear.
Yeah.
It's good, right?
Crazy.
Is that good?
Yeah, it could sound like rats.
Yeah,
you know? But
exactly.
Heavier rats.
You know, and they're freaking out like, hey, there's something in my attic. I'm like, I'm not going up there.
Yeah.
And I'll go up there with flashlights. I'll take a look. You know, we'll set it up. You know, we'll remove whatever's up there. You know, we'll close off the entry point of the raccoons. You know,
so they can't get back.
Exactly. Raccoons are good. Raccoons are a native species, and actually, raccoons is a huge beneficial to our ecosystem. They actually eat iguanas.
Oh
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool that you guys have been able to expand on what you guys have done, starting with, you know, from landscaping to an opportunity controlling pests, you know, as let's say iguanas. And then from there, you've branched out into other things.
Yeah.
What's next for you guys? What do you feel like is another animal you'll be capturing?
Honestly, like we want to focus as much as we do on the iguanas, on the Burmese python, you know, 'cause that's another invasive species causing a huge negative impact to our Everglades. You know, they're eating everything. You know, there's people catching out there huge. They just set a world record of, I think, a 19-footer, I think it was.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
that'll eat humans.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. I mean, they eat alligators. You know, there's times that the big pythons could eat a smaller alligator.
If you guys are enjoying the content that we're putting out here on the Plant Movement Podcast, make sure to subscribe and follow, giving us a 5-star review. It really goes a long way. Also, share it with someone that can benefit from this content. As always, we want to continue connecting you with people in the green industry. And make sure you get in touch if you want to jump on the podcast.
Just like the python, they don't have many predators. The alligator to me is a big predator for the Burmese python, but up to what size? Just like the iguana. The iguana has very little predators. They have hawks, they have owls will eat smaller iguanas. There's
a raccoon.
A raccoon definitely will eat some.
But I feel like a raccoon wouldn't be like a main predator. It's not like that raccoons are after iguanas.
Well, a plus is that iguanas sleep on the trees at night. Mm-hmm. They don't sleep in the burrows. People are misinformed about that. So after iguanas are done with their day pooping in your pools and digging the burrows and destroying your structures, they climb up trees high at night, to hide from predators. But mostly raccoons are really active at night. So the raccoons will climb the trees at night, and if the iguana's sleeping, he's gonna grab him. He's gonna eat him alive.
Well, I would feel the raccoon better have a tight grip because those iguanas, they can move.
Man,
They're fast.
They're fast. They have their big tail. They can move their body like a snake.
Yeah, I mean, smaller iguanas they could grab. The bigger ones like a 6-footers, they have no chance. Because I've had trouble with those 6-foot iguanas. They're strong.
They're strong.
They're
I bet a
super
6-foot. That's a big boy.
Yeah,
probably what weighs 40 pounds.
I think up to 20 pounds.
20
pounds is the max. The max iguanas grow are 6 feet.
Okay.
And they weigh up to I think 25 pounds.
Are there different species of iguanas?
In South Florida, there's only 2 invasive species. There's a black spiny tail iguana, and then there's the green iguana.
Okay,
those are the 2
I've seen
main.
Both of those.
Yeah, those are the 2 main invasive species in South Florida.
And there's a lot of different lizards.
Yeah.
Like here, even at the farm, we have the black lizard that has like an orange head.
Oh, the retagama.
That's what it's called.
I think it's called the retagama. Yeah.
I'm gonna start capturing them and selling them to the pet stores.
Yeah, right. Yeah, man. And those in the millions too. Those.
We have them all over the place.
Yeah.
But they don't eat the plants. For us it's great. They eat the bugs. They might eat the plants.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey guys, have fun. Hang out.
Exactly.
They haven't become a problem.
Exactly. And here we go again. Those things are multiplying like crazy.
That's another one.
So they're eating all the insects. So our native species are always in competition to to eat. Same thing with the iguanas. The same exact thing. The iguanas are eating all these plants and stuff, and our native species, what are they going to eat? Because the population of iguana compared to our native species, it's getting really close to me. They're
just like the python.
Just like the python.
Yeah, between those two, they're overpowering everything else. Like the alligators, is that considered native? I believe.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, of course, yeah.
So even them, there's not as many alligators as there is pythons or as there is iguanas.
Yeah.
Like there's iguanas all over.
Did you guys say this? But where did the iguanas actually come from?
So the iguanas were introduced mostly to South Florida through the pet trade.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was saying earlier, they had them as pets, they let them go, they got bigger. So they're introduced from there, but the iguanas are actually native to South America.
South America.
They're native to South America. They're good there.
So the real blame has to go on those guys that brought them over and started breeding them.
Yeah,
it's their fault.
And actually natural disasters too, if you think about it. In South America, there's a hurricane. The iguanas, end up on top of a log. The log floats to South Florida. They get off. Hey, we're here.
It could be as
they
easy
swim
as that
as well,
too.
so.
They do swim.
Yeah. They swim and they hold their breath up to 30 minutes underwater. So.
For real?
Yeah.
For me, they're very interesting. I see them as
They are.
very cool lizards.
Yeah, they're beautiful creatures,
Yeah.
and it's a shame that we have to do this, But if someone doesn't do something about it, we're going to lose our native species over iguanas. They are beautiful creatures, they're awesome reptiles, but when it comes to causing a negative impact to our ecosystem and our environment, we have to do something about it.
Yeah, 100%. No, you have to. You have to do it because if not, it'll be the end of all of these different species.
Exactly.
And without one species, now another species becomes extinct, could become extinct as well.
Exactly.
And just so much. So what areas do you guys service? For you guys listening, just so if you wanted to reach out and use them for anything that you guys might need, any iguanas or raccoons or snakes or whatever shows up.
Yeah.
Where are you guys located?
We're located in Kendall, but we service from Fort Lauderdale all the way to Key West.
From Fort Lauderdale, Key West. So you guys cover a big area.
Yeah.
Yeah, we cover anywhere, coastal, inlands, associations, residents, commercial.
Residential, yeah.
Do you guys do like monthly things where you have like maybe like, hey, I see some, but I don't know where they're at right now. Can we leave traps? And you do service like that where you come monthly? Do you do any recurring visits, like packages? Like what do you guys offer like that for customers? You have 911. We have 17 iguanas here. We need to get them out of here fast. You have those calls, but then you also have, hey, we're going to do the traps, or we're going to do this, and we're going to prevent. You guys use repellents. Do you do anything like that to prevent them from coming in?
Yeah, so what we do for clients is we give different options, depends on the situation. Some clients might have 1 or 2 iguanas, So we might just do 1 month of service, which includes going once a week.
Okay.
If they have a lot of vegetation on the property, we don't offer traps because a lot of times it won't work. Since the iguanas are munching on the plants, they're not going to the traps.
Yeah, they're smart. They know.
Yeah, they have a free buffet, in other words.
So there's not one thing that they prefer more than that, like their delicacy, like their preferred meal that you guys can put in there that can compete against the plants.
What we've noticed is that the iguanas are very common. We've seen videos and done our research that they usually go sometimes on properties of our residents. They go through the same path. So when they're used to eating a certain plant, they'll go to that plant daily, eat that plant, go poop on the same spot in your pool, sunbathe in that spot.
And they have a routine that they do every day. Sleep in the same tree, they come down the same way, they eat the same thing, they poop at the same place.
Exactly. So for different occurrences, we have different services. So we might offer a 1 month service. If you're highly infested, we'll offer a 6 month to a year service. Depends of how badly infested it is. We always give the best recommendation so you have the best outcome on your property. Because if you have beautiful new landscaping, you spend thousands of dollars on landscaping, you want to save that landscaping.
Yeah.
So that's where we come in and start eradicating all these iguanas. Another service we provide that not many companies do is night visits. So what we do is we go to properties at night with these headlamps that we use, and we look for the iguanas at night in the trees. They're sleeping in the trees at night, so it's a much easier catch.
Of course.
So another plus to that is if you have a house that has hundreds of oak trees in the back, like Coral Gables, which is one of the areas that we do. Mm-hmm. It's really hard to see those iguanas during the day because there's so much foliage and coverage that they're super hard to see because they're not always on the ground. Mm-hmm. So we'll show up to your property at night with headlamps. We let you know, hey, we're gonna go, because we do come with a pellet rifle. Okay. As you don't call the cops on us. Mm-hmm. We don't want to get shot in Miami.
No. You guys have they have a truck that's wrapped as an iguana and it's so cool.
Yeah, you guys have to check that out.
Check it out on IG. We'll
we have
put
a
everything
mascot,
there.
a little iguana mascot.
Oh yeah,
on the front.
Awesome.
His name's Iggy.
Awesome.
Iggy the iguana.
Awesome.
So that service that we offer is a huge benefit, for clients, especially if they're highly infested with a lot of vegetation on their property. We'll offer the same service, go monthly or 6 months to a year. It's great, man. Not many people offer that, so it does help a lot.
Oh,
we like to say it's like a pool service or a landscaping service that you need to go monthly or every 6 months or something like that because they do come back and we're there to service a property.
There's companies that spray mosquitoes.
Exactly.
And they go it's a bi-weekly type thing or every 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
It's something like that. You guys that have properties that are highly infested with iguanas, you can reach out to them and now you can get on some type of plan where now every single week they're driving by or they're setting a trap or they're doing whatever they feel that they can do to execute the mission.
Exactly.
And get rid of the problem.
Exactly. Yeah. So once they call, we show up, we survey the area, we look for the burrows from iguanas. Mm-hmm. We look for feces, defecation from the iguanas. Mm-hmm. Another thing a lot of people don't do that we do is that we don't almost time look up for the iguanas. We look in the ground for their poop. And what that does is help us locate more or less what areas the iguanas are at.
And if it's fresh, if it's dry, and
exactly.
if they're there.
Exactly. That helps a lot determine, the infestation rate and how many iguanas you might have on your property.
Why? Because they defecate that much?
Yeah, they defecate a lot, man. It's really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and by the size of their feces, we could tell they're small iguanas or big iguanas as well.
And does that is that like acidy that it can let's say stain the pool deck and stuff like that?
Yeah, well, actually, there's been occurrences that they've defecated on pools, like travertine, and they'll leave a stain. It could be removed, but that's another problem. Imagine you have to go out there every single day to clean the pool, and if they actually like pooping in pools too. We've had some stories from clients telling us that the iguana went to the pool, turned his butt to the pool, pooped, and walked away. Wow. Like sassy. I'm like, does he pay rent there?
Yeah.
He's like, no. I'm like, you should start charging him.
Yep.
No, but it's just crazy, man.
It is.
It sucks for the iguana, man, because they are such a cool creature.
Yeah, man.
But it's like, guys, stop having babies. You guys.
For real, right? Good thing there's no welfare checks for that, right?
No, what you guys need to do is come up with, if there's any scientists listening, any of these plant pathologists, we got to come up with something that is a birth control for iguanas.
Or even a child support control.
Child support.
I would love to open a business on that, Because imagine 20 to 70, one female, we'll be rich.
Yeah, we'll be
Forget
rich.
the plants, forget the iguanas.
Oh, man.
What's our new business?
No, but I'm sure there's something that can control that. Who knows, man? But that's another business in itself, thinking about that. You figure out a way to control iguanas, because iguanas could hang out and could be a part of society at the end of the day and part of the ecosystem and wildlife out here. We just can't have an abundance of them. Can't have 1 million of them and the ratio of everybody else is 100.
Exactly.
It's gotta be balanced, and it's just so imbalanced. That's why you guys come in clutch and you guys do such a big thing for the environment down here in South Florida that people don't even understand.
Exactly.
Really, what you guys do, and with the snakes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a love-hate relationship. Like a lot of people, pobrecito, la iguana. I'm like, te va a caer la piscina, te va a enfermar. Your dog's gonna get sick. You know, he could die. You know, but pobrecito la iguana. You know, I had this other idea. I wish it could happen, but it's impossible. You know, like all the iguanas you catch, put them in a big container and take them back to South America. Yeah. But the problem with that is, infectious diseases. You know, if we take an iguana that's sick here in South Florida, over there it could cause a pandemic.
And they could carry salmonella. How do they get salmonella?
Their poop has salmonella.
Their poop has salmonella.
Yeah.
So if one of them, so
they poop in the pool, you swim in the pool, you can get it.
Your dog licks it, your dog can get it.
Exactly, yeah. And since they like to poop around pools, it's common. A little kid, what is that? And touches it, by accident touches his mouth. There's health risks. There's
100%.
So imagine if you have hotels in the beach, or in the Keys, they have pools and playgrounds, and the ones are pooping there. It's a problem.
It's a huge problem.
Yeah, it's a liability risk as well.
Yeah, you'll get sued for the whole place.
Yeah, for iguana feces.
Which is crazy, which is something that you guys are super essential right now, the way things are. You guys figured it out, you took the opportunity, and you guys have done something great with it.
Yeah.
You guys have kids? How many kids?
3.
We have 3, but with vasectomy. We're not iguanas. We're not going to keep going.
That's it.
We're not going to overbuild
iguana birth control.
Miami has enough residents as it is, and enough iguanas.
What I like about it is that you guys are building something together.
Yeah.
So it's like you people don't understand when you have kids how tough it becomes.
Yeah.
That's why when I see a young kid that has zero baggage, no kids, no nothing, it's like, man, you don't know the potential that you have by just going after the opportunities because you have nothing really weighing you down but your mind. Yeah. Because having kids is a whole nother job.
It's work.
And it's a full-time job. So then now you tackle on either going and working somewhere or now working for yourself, where now you have being entrepreneurs. You have so many things that you have to execute. And then a new idea comes to your mind. You're like, all right, I'm going to throw that on my plate too. And I'm going to try to execute that and get that rolling. We got to do social media. We got to go get this iguana. I got to learn about this. I want to take a course. I want to go meet up with this guy that we can network. And now we're in their pool of iguana catchers. So now we have one guy that knows that he has 10 different people and we're under his umbrella too, so we can go and create more. Like just building what is a business and life and children, a family, and all of that, it isn't easy. Exactly. So kudos to you guys for doing that. Because a lot of people don't understand what that is, but I understand. I have children myself, so congratulations, guys.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys, we're gonna be posting their stuff down in the link below in the bio, and jump on IG so you can check out what they do. You guys are fluent on IG, and you guys are also starting a YouTube channel.
Yeah, we have a YouTube channel.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you have to check it out. It's crazy stuff.
Yeah, we post funny stuff, crazy stuff.
Yeah, we actually just did a video of using drones to assist us in some properties for the iguanas.
Oh. What does it do? It finds them?
Yeah, so certain spots that we don't want to get to scare off the iguana. We'll get the drone from a good vantage point, see where they're at, and then we'll go to that spot and have a good tactic to take them out faster.
Wow. So you guys have learned to fly the drone?
Oh, yeah. No,
he's an expert.
I've had my drone for a while now,
Okay.
I go, man, you know what? Let me take the drone to work and see what happens. And
then you're getting footage, too, that you can use for content, which is always great. Yeah, and those crazy escapes, him with a 16-foot birth means python that just ate an alligator with two iguanas whipping him on the side. You can capture that.
Yeah, on the YouTube video, you can see the python I caught.
That's crazy.
8-foot python, yeah.
No, I respect that, man, because not everybody will do that. There's a lot of macho men walking around. I'm Mr. Macho.
Yeah.
But let a Burmese python,
they're running.
Let a Burmese python, pop out of the bushes and they'll be jumping like little girls.
Yeah, man.
Because it takes balls to do what you guys do.
Yeah.
So what is one of the craziest stories that you can tell us in regards to catching one of these animals?
All right. So one night we were servicing a house in Coral Gables. I think in Gables Estates it was. And I got a phone call like 11 o'clock at night. He's like, hey, you guys remove iguanas? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I need you to come right now. There's one in my house. I need to get out right now. I don't know what to do. It's in my kid's bedroom and
my kid's bedroom.
In my kid's bedroom.
How did that happen?
So I go, listen, we could be there right away. Where are you? She's like, well, we're in Pinecrest. I'm like, I'm like 10 minutes away from you. We could be there in 10 minutes. Hurry up. Come. Take them out. I was like, all right, we'll be 10 minutes. Send me your address. So we went over there. She's like, it's over there in that room. It's in there. It's just looking at us. I don't know what to do.
She's freaking out.
She's freaking out. Imagine. And it's a kid's room and iguana. So we walk in. We always walk in super sketchy. We walk in.
You don't know what's going to happen.
No, we don't know if he's going to jump on us or no, he's not going to jump us. But we don't know where it's at.
Yeah.
And we don't want to scare it off to a harder position that we can't catch it.
Exactly.
So we were in the room for like 10 minutes looking. We couldn't find him. Like, Mom, you sure it's in here? She's like, yeah. I'm like, I don't see it. Like, well, let me look again. So we looked around and then we looked on top of his bed and it was right over his pillow. Because he has this pillow set comforter that was all different colors.
Okay.
So it's camouflage, of course, into that color. So the head was just sticking out behind the backboard of the bed, just looking at us. And I'm like, look at where he's at. All right, so we
That's awesome.
We carefully went, with our grabbers. We go with our grabbers because they have a better chance of grabbing him.
What's a grabber?
A grabber is like a long extension that has
Kind of like to pick up garbage on a lawnmower?
Exactly, yes.
Okay,
yeah,
something like that?
Yeah, the same thing, so it gives us an advantage, to like get closer, because if we get too close ourselves to the one, you're going to run off. So we went up to him, we grabbed him, and we took him out.
That's great. How big was that one?
It was about 2 feet.
2 feet.
With tail and everything, about 2 feet.
Yeah, but think about it. That's scary for her and her kid. I'm sure they were devastated.
Imagine the kid would have went to lay down and, how are you? Good morning.
Yeah, but nothing would happen because they don't attack. Right?
No,
they don't attack humans.
No, they're not really known to attack. They're more to flee than anything else, But if they get cornered, if a larger iguana gets cornered, he will try and tail whip you because he needs to defend himself.
Yeah, it's a defense mechanism.
Which is normal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like when I grab him, he wants to bite me, scratch me, whip me, because if I grab you, then you want to bite me, scratch me, whip me.
Yeah, and they have teeth that can penetrate skin.
Oh, definitely, yeah. They have these sharp little razor teeth that's made to just cut leaves.
Oh,
yeah.
If you think about a leaf and it's just a sharp, clean cut, so there's your skin,
they scratch. They have long nails too.
Super long nails. And that's another thing. People don't know that when the iguanas poop, their tail drags along that poop.
Oh, yeah.
So when you go grab the iguana by the tail, you got to make sure you clean your hands.
Oh.
Because then you get salmonella poisoning like that as well.
That's very true.
Wow.
I want to talk about a service that we provide that I don't think other companies may provide. We put a clear acetate around trees so that the iguanas can't climb the trees.
Oh, that's cool.
Some people put chicken wire, which only helps them climb more because the chicken wire is like little...
Yeah, it's like levels. It's like steps.
Exactly.
So we put a clear acetate around it so that they slide. They can't go back up.
So it's slippery.
Yeah.
And they can't.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What is it, like a hard plastic?
It's like a very, very thin...
It's acetate. It's like bendy, and then you just put it around the tree and they can't climb up.
Yeah.
And it's clear, so you don't see it on the tree.
We actually even installed that in like fences, that has golf courses behind them. We did like a long 50-foot stretch because the iguanas were just going through the little holes of the fence.
Yeah.
So we provided that. We put that and they want to stop going to their property.
So you guys install that as well.
Yeah.
It's great from the landscape background.
Yeah.
That's something that a landscaper would do. You would think, I need to cover something. Let me talk to my fence guy, or let me talk to a landscaper, hardscaper that can come and do it for me. But that's a service that you guys go and do yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the thing we forgot to mention, that we also do preventive maintenance.
Okay.
So let's say if we start doing your property for a month, or 2 months, 6 months to a year, when we're done and we know it's under control or eliminated, we provide the service of just going one time a month just to scope out the area. And what that includes is just walking around, looking at any entry points that iguanas might come in. We recommend landscaping materials so they don't attract the iguanas to the property. Okay. So we offer all that as well, to help the resident out.
That's cool. No, you want that because if you had an infestation, you know what it can do, especially if you have losses as a landlord.
Exactly.
So you want to make sure they don't come back. Your neighbors might have them, but you want to make sure that they don't come into your yard.
Exactly. Yeah. So we take a lot of preventive measures.
From the trees, the fences, the holes. All of that is stuff that you guys are doing to prevent.
Exactly.
Which is great. I'm glad you guys are doing that. I spoke with a landscaper that we service at A's, and yesterday we actually did a whole complete change out order because the plants that they had there, the iguanas ate them. So they actually ended up getting society garlic, crown of thorn, and I think liriope is what they got because they told me that they're not eating those items.
Okay.
And crown of thorns, if you know what that plant is, if you guys do not know, you can Google it. It's basically a thorn. It's stems, multiple stems filled with thorns. They have leaves up top and little flowers.
Yeah.
I would hope they wouldn't eat that.
Yeah, la corona de Cristo.
Yeah, exactly. And then the society garlic, they have a really potent smell of garlic.
Yeah.
So I guess they don't like that either.
No, they don't.
So those are things. So you're either stuck with thorns in your landscape or a garlic smell.
Yeah. There's also... you could also install bromeliads, kuntis, I think Simpson stoppers, silver buttonwoods, firebush. Those are plants that they don't like.
That they don't like. So a good idea for someone that is in an area that they know have iguanas and they're looking to do a landscape. Make sure that you guys either talk to your landscaper, you can reach out to them and just link up and get a good idea of what you can do before the landscape architect starts drawing, because they might not know or they might not even think of that, and that's something that you really want to think about before you go and invest whatever you're going to invest into a landscape.
Yeah, or just hire us and we'll protect your plants.
There you go. They'll put that plastic all over the plants.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for coming today.
Oh, thank you, man.
I loved all the information that you gave us about the iguanas. I've been really hyped to do an episode about iguanas because it's a huge problem that I hear about all the time from my customers, or the customers that we service. So I'm glad you guys came. If you guys are looking for anyone when it comes to iguana, snake, rodent, anything like that, give them a call. Call Michael and Michelle. They'll take care of you. Call them at 3 in the morning. Call them at 3 in the morning and just say, hey, man, I love the podcast. And just hang up.
Yeah, we are open 24 hours. So
Oh, you guys are?
yeah.
All right. So call the hotline and they'll take care of it. All their information, guys, like I said before, is going to be in the link in the bio below, regardless of where you're watching or listening to. All right. And thank you for all our listeners and our people watching on YouTube. We greatly appreciate the love. All right. Stay tuned for the next one because it's going to be fire, like you guys know. All right. God bless you. Stay safe, and you'll see us on the next one. Bye.
Thank you for listening to this edition of The Plant Movement. Willie and Eddie invite you to connect with them on Instagram at both The Plant Movement Podcast and A's Ornamental Nursery. Those links are in the show description. Please leave us a well-worded 5-star review on Apple Podcasts to help others find the show. And remember to tap the follow button so that you'll be notified when the next edition of The Plant Movement is available.